what were your thoughts about Bernie Sanders dropping out?
Well, I think Bernie Sanders dropping out uh, was inevitable once he couldn't win the black vote. And it's a fascinating conundrum for Bernie Sanders and a lot of progressive white folks who always fall into a class analysis with a lot of great nuance and muscle memory, but can't figure out how to translate that into a racial analysis. And so I think that, in as much as I loved all of his policy proposals and ideas, he had 6, 7 years to figure out the race part and he couldn't, which leads me to believe that, if you are a white progressive living in the most diverse age of this country and you can't figure out a racial analysis, you don't deserve to be the president of a progressive wing of the political spectrum. If you're a conservative, you don't have to figure out nothing but just how to be white, mean, and greedy, and use religious tropes to be a thin layer of icing on the cake so it tastes better when it goes down your throat, right? I mean, there's no substance in a conservative Republican vision of America, of the world. It's all exploitation. It's all, insular. It's a human hierarchy that does not have room for all of creation, right? But folks who, whether you're agnostic, whether you are non-theist, whether you are, person of faith, if you claim to be someone who believes in, say, a progressive, inclusive vision of the world of creation, and you've not done the work to figure out how to articulate that to those who are the most directly impacted by the underbelly of a system, you don't know how to communicate that to the most directly impacted. Then I just feel like only in a certain part of a progressive political or progressive context can you win. And so I just think, it sucks. It definitely sucks for all of us who love the platform of Bernie Sanders or the progressive wing of the Democratic Party that, we don't have that kind of a champion at the top of the ticket. But, him dropping out, I think now gives us more time to try to unite the many factions necessary and important distinctions of the Democratic Party electorate, right? Because, the Democratic Party electorate is not the Democratic Party. There are a lot of people who just fall into the electorate part because we know that, in many cases you just have a two-party system and you just have to choose from the best options you have. But the party has to continue to figure out how do we cultivate better candidates and make room for visions of America, of states, of cities that don't depend on a kind of centrist vision that just continues to maintain the status quo. So I hope Bernie Sanders, stays committed to his role in this process, but it's time for other new young leaders who can actually do the race work to kind of blend it with a class analysis and an intergenerational analysis and a geographic, level of competency and unite all of these particular visions so we can move the country forward.